Okay, thanks so much for having me, and big up to Nvidia and Aaron and the team for putting this together. So that is true. That is me with the spray can. But I'm pleased to say that no wolves were harmed in making of this campaign. So, my background is I've had a squiggly career. So I've been a musician. I've hence the way I introduced myself probably. I've been an academic dean, publishing in journals. I've been an entrepreneur, and then I got into L&D, and then I was an executive general manager with big sales targets, revenue growth to 27 million for a company. And I used all of that to teach myself along my career. When I was 17, I was a manager, and nobody trained me. I was managing people double my age, and the way I learned a lot, therefore, was through observation. Much rather someone show me than give me a theoretical framework. And so I invite you to join a movement of anti-theory practitioners. So what is that? My big question is, how would we design learning experiences if we had no PowerPoints and no frameworks? And what anti-theory, therefore, is we believe a theory in and of itself can become a barrier to learning. So what we actually do in where we create learning experiences is focusing on helping people learn how to deliver results and outcomes instead, which is actually what companies need, what organizations need, no matter whether you're for profit or not for profit. And it's actually quite science backed. So I'll give you an example, right? So if I was going to teach you how to analyze the macro environment, a very theoretical approach and not a results driven approach would be here's pastel, and P stands for this, and political, and E stands for economical, and S stands for social. And I spent 20 minutes telling you about that. We probably had experiences like that. And then I'll give you a little bit of a reflection activity to sort of bring it all together. What we do actually at Manage a Kind, which is a company that I founded on the side, it is true, I do have a day job as well. What we're trying to do is to completely switch it. So we do three things. We look at reverse engineered learning. So it's how do we show you how to do something, feel it, experience it. So in this case, analyze the environment through a real challenge, and we let the theory emerge from the practice but not through theory, but not as theory as tips and techniques. The second thing we do, rather than giving sort of exercises and reflections, we do a little bit of that, but we've created something called incubator style method. And you come in and you solve real life-like challenges, a bit like if you were to go to a startup. And we focus on, as we said at the outset, real clear outcomes and results that an organization is trying to achieve, particularly focusing on the user and not focusing on sales and revenue, though those are important byproducts of focusing on user and customer experience. The third thing we do, because we think this is partly a contributor and also an aid, is we've really taken a look at how we design frameworks. And frameworks used well, designed well, can be really empowering. But we've seen a lot of bad frameworks out there with 8 steps, and it becomes a barrier to learning because if you put that up on the screen, someone starts to look at that and tries to learn the framework rather than actually learning how to apply it. And so what we're doing is we're launching 6 more frameworks in the leadership and management space on 13th of January. We've already trialed them during 2024 with about 300 plus learners. They're loving it, and I'll share a link for you in a second. So I invite you to explore how you could move towards a more anti-theory approach, recognizing its merits and where it's coming from. And what I wanted to do is put 4 options for you in terms of how you might currently design your learning experience. Let's do that. Let's do that in the video. I'm going to give you four ways in which you're currently maybe designing learning experiences. And if you're not in the learning design space, because I want to be mindful there may be other colleagues from other professions, then what most attracts you? So before you do anything, I'm going to put four possible options in the chat, and maybe if others can just hold off messaging for a second, just because what I want you to do is I want you to like which one of the 4 options that either you design learning experiences like that, or if you don't, then what you're most attracted to. So I'm just going to very rapidly put them in the chat now. Bear with me a second. And if you've already seen one that comes up, please like which one you think resembles what you like for now. So a framework, do start with a framework. or an approach, and then do a bit of reflective exercises. And this is a safe space, guys, not judgmental. It's like, what are you currently doing, and how might we think in 2025 to shift our practice? A scenario is slightly different to an exercise, in my opinion. It's a little bit more practical. Exercise might just be a question, and immersive scenario is a little bit more where you're actually solving something, and then a case study is just a whole thing on itself. So thanks to everyone who's put in a bit of a like and a reaction, or put in a letter. Not a problem whatsoever. I love the variety. Yes, great. It's people are more on the C side. So I know the D side, so which is great. But it's okay if you're starting off or if you're still in the first two. The aim is, what can we learn from each approach? And so what I'm going to do next is put, if you want to learn more and join the anti-theory movement, and we're still learning and figuring stuff out, access the guides, contribute towards this new way of thinking, and learn a bit more and contact. I'll put in a link there to my company. Please do reach out just for a mint tea or a coffee. I'll be happy to connect with people. Thanks so much, Living and the team.